But I was just trying to get some inspiration,
To just look up really dumb things that 20-year-olds do.
Well, we already know what they do.
Yeah.
And then just go from there.
Because 50-year-olds do those things too.
But yeah, that would be a great thing to do, Ted.
They're just more slick about it.
Look at the dumbest things,
Yeah.
the dumbest things that people do, and then go ahead and tips those so that you can help those people. I love that you're still writing. This is insane to me.
Look up dumb things that 20-year-olds do.
You know what the problem is? Listen,
They drink too much.
the thing what we're going to talk about today is something that Teddy and I talked about on Tuesday night. We were at the driving range bar.
Yeah, it was the driving range. That's right.
Yeah. He doesn't even remember that.
No, I remember. I just couldn't remember it exactly. I can't remember who I texted because there's like 10 different text
You texted
threads.
me.
Just
I
you,
was there.
and I can't find it. It's
Why
weird.
would you text other people's show ideas?
Yeah, I know. I would just text it to you, and like if there's somebody else.
I know, right? It's yeah. So we're at the driving range bar, and we are hammered drunk. And the funniest part about this is Teddy leaves hammered drunk to go play a doubleheader of softball.
And we won. By the way, we beat the number 1 team. I had the winning plate. The plate. I threw the guy out, and I was catching.
Someone threw to you.
It to me, and I caught it, and I went like this, and he was out like right there, and it was
for
nice.
those of you
Right
who
there.
are at home, for those of you
Right
at home,
there.
doing this means Ted actually caught the ball, which everyone probably thought was amazing.
Yeah.
And actually tagged the guy.
And I hit the ball terrible all night, but I pulled
Ted,
a
you were drunk.
and I pulled a hamstring too, and
Yeah, that's
and
I asked.
and the doubleheader. The second game, I'm like, I just want to get out of here. And luckily, the team wasn't. They're nice people, but yeah, they weren't that great. So luckily, we won that game too. And I'm just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, the other team, they got their ass kicked, but they were really nice people.
Yes.
Yeah, so Jack plays, or Ted plays with my son Jackson, right? So when Jackson came home that night, and I mean, I was already asleep because it was a doubleheader, and then he didn't get home till like 11:30. The next day, I asked Jack, I'm like, Jack, how did Ted play?
Oh, I didn't play it all. I didn't play it all on Tuesday. I'm talking about Wednesday. I'm talking about last night.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you wait. Tuesday we were loaded on Tuesday.
I didn't play it all. I was just coaching first base. I never got in the game.
So
I didn't care about that. Yeah,
Coaching.
I never made it on the field. I never made it on the field. I didn't get one rep. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's funny because I asked Jack, I'm like, Jack, how did Ted play? And he goes, I don't remember him even playing. I'm like, it was 2 games and it was yesterday, so
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing either.
Oh, yesterday I played the full amount, but on Tuesday I was relegated to just coaching duties. So
Yeah, dude, I couldn't imagine you
Send
could
everybody?
swing a bat.
because they want to win.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine you could swing a
Teddy's
bat.
waving
No,
away.
yeah,
though.
no, of course
Go,
I can swing.
go,
it's like
go.
riding a bike. You could do that anytime. But they had good players in the game, and it was actually better that I didn't play. And even if they would have asked me later, I would have said no because at that point you're just so cold
Hammered?
and you're not loosened up at all. I would have just said no, just let those guys. I think they played really well. Those guys played really well. So
Yeah, the team without you.
yeah, the team without me. But then the team who needed me last night, it's not as competitive as the Tuesday league. They needed me because we were like 10 people, so I
They
contributed.
needed you.
Yeah, but it was a terrible performance at the plate. But defensively,
I can't.
I did good.
That seems insane because if anyone's ever seen Ted play softball, defensively is his. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a weakness because it's at some point a weakness would have had to been a strength. Yeah, he's horrible. He's one of the worst defensive players I've ever seen.
no, I was spot on. I was just like,
And that was one tag. You tagged one guy out. Correct?
but it was the tag that counted to to end the game.
He was spot on. He made one play. Oh man, I love that. You know what? That's why hanging out with you and playing sports with you is so great because you can do more golfing, 17 holes of horror, right? And then one hole of awesomeness.
And
when
he's
you
like,
go,
wow,
Yeah.
I did so good on hole 17.
Exactly. We'll go to the bar afterwards, and he'll be like, "Oh man, dude, I was great, man. Did you see me on hole 17?" I'll be like, "You mean that the one hole you played well on?" Yeah.
Actually, I never talk about sports afterwards because you have to have a short memory. You have to have a short memory. in
You are
sports.
so full of shit. Tuesday night when we were see, this is the problem with you not remembering anything.
Exactly. There you go.
You literally told me the last time he bowled. So Teddy told me a story.
Yeah, that was like
and
months ago.
I had to listen to 20 minutes of Ted's bowling stories. And if you guys have never
Wait,
heard, I mean,
Riveting.
He told me that you bowl right-handed and left-handed.
It's possible that happened at some point in time.
Do you not remember?
Oh, I remember.
no, he
Oh,
didn't.
Okay.
No, yeah. So now you bowl left-handed.
Yes. So I was just telling Matt that it's been months since I've thrown a ball, and then we have a league actually starting. It's actually already started our fall league, and I said I'm going to join the guys probably sometime like in October, and then there's tournaments. You have to it's like semi-competitive, but you have to pay money to enter them. Yeah. But I haven't thrown a ball in months, so I need a little practice to get back in the swing of things. That's all I'm saying.
So can I start the show? Hey, everybody, welcome to Bowling Talk. I'm Matt. Our special guest was... wait, hold on a second. No.
The only thing more boring than the cheese podcast for you?
Wait, that's crap. 500,000 people. And Mark, don't
Wait, it's
don't
up
say it,
to
goddamn.
500,000?
No, they have 500,000 listeners, and I don't want to hear that you listen to the Cheese Podcast. Don't say it. No, honest to God, don't
I
say it,
did.
or I will kill you.
It's very Gouda.
It's Gouda.
That is the shittiest cheese joke of all time. Okay?
I said it last week and nobody said anything.
No,
right over your head.
I listened. No, I
you
ignored
had to
it.
listen to it twice to get it.
You know what? You'd be surprised. There's some shows I never listen to, and some shows I listen to multiple times.
The Cheese Podcast you listen to multiple times.
No, we're not. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But in my defense, I passed up a place that is like a cheese and meat, like is it called
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Mm-hmm. And you know what I was thinking? That would be pretty cool to have somebody on and talk about that. Because I don't really know anything about that. So it might be kind of interesting to have somebody on from there, just to hear.
Charcuterie and wine.
Yeah, we should get somebody that mixes it up. Get somebody who actually makes head cheese.
Wait a minute. How could you make cheese while you're giving head?
No.
Oh,
you know what head cheese is, right?
No, I don't know. What is that? What is
Really?
It? No, I have no idea. I
Is
never heard of it.
Is that cheese from is that making meat from like a brain?
No,
or
it's
something?
like
A
all the
face?
different parts of animals, like the animal and they just.
So it's like a
with
hot dog. It's like a
gelatin
hot
and-
dog.
No, but you could see it. You've never seen a thing of head cheese?
No.
I've heard of it, but I've never had it
Yeah.
or seen it.
Oh.
It sounds super great. Have you eaten it?
I've never had it. No, I've seen it in like old school delis and
Yeah.
places like that.
I feel like old Hungarian dudes eat that shit, but I
it's
don't.
like chunks of all the and it's put in gelatin and it looks like a block of cheese.
Right.
So it's like the
but it's
hot
all
dog
meat.
of cheese.
Yeah.
No, hot dogs are good. I mean, hot dogs. No. You look at a hot dog, you don't know what's in it. It just looks like tube steak.
Oh, you can see all
When
that.
you look at head cheese, it's all the different. It's like red, pink, white, fucking all this shit in gelatin molded into like cheese.
And it's
Yeah,
like
it
would be
looks
like
gross.
It'd be like a delicatessen, like
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
It's
never
chunks of
needed
shit.
to know anything
And it
about
actually
this.
says head cheese.
Yeah.
That's the official name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's okay. So I guess we're getting the charcuterie person on because we need to know about.
Wait a
head
minute.
cheese.
I think. All right, let's go on. Let's move on.
People tell
Let's
you.
move on.
That's what it is.
Maybe I'm right. I don't know.
Oh
No,
man,
I'm
so
kidding.
so that means he's wrong. That means he's wrong. Okay, so you know
is
what?
a
That would be great. We do that, and then they bring head cheese, and everybody has to try it.
I would do that.
Like Fear Factor.
I would do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man,
who's that guy? Bear Grylls. He eats the oil that he eats like the guts of whatever animal in the
Never seen it.
wilderness, or the guys who eats the the real exotic food.
why
That's
would you
really,
eat guts? There's so
I
many
mean,
good
what-
parts of an animal.
I mean,
why
what-
would you eat the
well,
guts?
because they go out of their way to eat like the worst food ever because they have like an iron cast stomach. There was a show like that.
Oh,
a while
that's
ago.
disgusting.
That's so. Mark is the new Googler, and he just
The new
showed
Johnny.
That's head cheese.
Yeah.
He just showed Teddy and Jackie the head cheese, and I've seen it before. I worked in a delicatessen, right? I mean,
Yes.
when I was in
I remember.
when I was in high school, I worked in it. It was one of the many jobs I've had.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of jobs, guess who's got a job?
Really?
Yeah, this guy does.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to hear the
someone's
Congrats.
gainfully employed? Congrats.
yeah, you want to hear the irony of this?
Sure.
So I'm going to teach kids not to take drugs and do alcohol.
Ooh. Are these kids who have already
Just at the same time.
done drugs and alcohol and need help? Or
These are, I guess, they're a whole bunch of different ages. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but this guy right here, Mr. Drugs and Alcohol, is gonna. So I guess
That's
I'll just
not true.
No, I'll just stand
You're
up there.
kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
You
I'm
are
not
kidding.
No, Mark, it's too late. I already have the job. If they fire me now, I'll just say that they were being sexist.
Are they going to drug test you?
Yes.
you could just
Yes,
just
they
email
are.
them back and say, just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I already told them. I'm like, I'm going to fail that drug test, just so you know.
Why don't you just take the one drug where it's like the hardest drug to detect? Aren't there like certain drugs you take they can only detect it through like a spinal tap or something? They have to like basically do
Ted.
like a bone marrow.
Hold on a second. Let's just get this out there.
Scope.
I'm not doing like meth and shit. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty funny. So I guess I don't even have to do anything. I'll just stand up there and I'll just be like, boys and girls, this is what happens to you if you do drugs and alcohol. And I'll be like, no, that's horrible. We don't want that.
This is your brain on drugs. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. That old campaign.
So this is the job you didn't want because you have to leave the house.
Yeah, well, a little bit. I have to leave the house a little bit, but there's a lot of working at home. Yeah, which I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Working at home just means masturbating, right? I mean, I'm not actually working. Is that right?
So I just read something on Reddit today where some guy in IT, he works from home exclusively. So all he did all day long, he literally said this. He goes, he was on an 8-hour shift. He had to change the color of a button from bright blue to like darker blue, and that's all he did the whole day.
No, it's not. No, that's not a job. He lied, Ted. Ted,
Just
I don't know
for-
if you
I
know
want
this.
that job.
No, just for that one specific task. I'm not saying that's his whole job. I'm just saying, but on that,
Man, it was on Reddit.
On that particular, on that particular
It's totally
day,
true.
he just did one thing that took about a minute, and his day was over. But he got comped. He got 8 hours of pay. He got,
I just don't believe that. Ted,
Probably works
you
for
realize
Google.
like 99% of the internet is fake,
fake.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
is it deep
Wait,
fake?
what?
It's a deep.
What's
Yeah.
So what's a fake? What's a deep fake? Can you remind me what a deep fake is?
Anything that you think is true.
No, isn't deep fake means they make it so really it looks like it's coming from you. So for example, wasn't there like a case of like some teenagers, they tried to like set up like a neighbor they didn't like, so they made it look like that person was surfing like kiddie porn. So they actually like somehow were able to like put the kiddie porn on their computer, and then like they arrested the guy, but then they were able, I guess, like whatever forensic thing they did, they showed that it actually didn't come from him. They actually planted it there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a deep fake.
Yeah, because you know what? It's like here, and we were going to talk about this last week, but you know all the book banning, right? All the parents want to do book banning, like Texas and all these places.
They're doing it.
They're doing it.
They
right?
did it.
Right. So, but they do realize that as soon as their kids get out of school and get on their phone, they can get anything 10 times worse than that. So you can ban. I don't know who they're banning books for, but there is no way if you're just like, oh, I don't want my kids talking about sex stuff.
Yeah.
Your kid literally is one press away from sex stuff that is videos that are 1,000
Ban
times
books, but
worse.
Right.
Let them surf the internet.
Right.
Well,
right.
the other thing
Much
is like,
better,
you
much
make,
better.
You make it worse.
Get
It's
back online.
yeah. The other thing.
Stop reading books.
No. The other thing. Once you tell somebody this is banned and you can't look at this, everyone's going to want to look at it. So you're actually making it worse. You're making people
No, you
gravitate
made that
towards
point.
the thing.
That's exactly
Like the
what's
Salman
happening.
Rushdie, like the
All
satanic
those-
verses. Yeah.
All
It's-
those books that got banned,
Yeah.
the sales just skyrocketed immediately.
What was that? Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger, Catcher in the Rye. That goes like I don't know. I never read the book at all. Sounds like a snooze fest. But I mean, that was like banned. It was like real controversial, and like everybody ran out to read it.
Yeah.
So it actually had the opposite effect that.
Oh, of course. Well, Teddy, you have no. You. I know you don't remember this, but we talked about reading. All boys are blue.
Did you read it?
I actually. It's a comic book. It's a comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a comic, and it's really just about a boy who's he's a gay kid. He's obviously he's
sure,
gay,
sure.
right? And he's just like, oh man. He goes, oh.
He read it because it's a comic. Yeah. If it was a novel, if it was an actual book, like 200
Well,
pages,
that's the
it'd be like,
thing.
fuck this.
Yeah, that's the thing that surprised me is it was a comic, right? And it's just about this kid, and he's just like, oh, all these boys are doing these things. I don't really want to do this, and it was just a kid who was just like, hey man, I'm clearly gay, and this is kind of like I don't know if it was written as an adult or whatever, but it was just this story of the kid who is gay, and he's just starting to figure out like, you know what? I am not like all the other boys in here. So all the
trying
other
to figure
boys.
out who he is.
So it was
and-
so it was a serious story. It was in comic book form, and that was like actually the book I read in college was called Mouse. It was Maus, and that was about basically the cats were the Nazis,
Yeah.
the mice were the Jews.
Oh yeah.
And it was
Yep.
serious stuff, but it was under the guise of a comic, and I think
Right.
Texas or one of those states actually banned
They
that
did, yeah.
banned that book
That is a
about the
phenomenal,
Holocaust. Yeah,
phenomenal
about the
book.
Holocaust.
Really, I feel like the people in Texas would love a good old fashioned Nazi book. That's oh, did it
Which
make
is
the
which is
Holocaust sound bad?
which is ironic.
Is that why they didn't like
No,
it?
they made it sound like it existed.
You mean like that?
Your
You know
show
what?
just got banned in Texas.
yeah,
yeah, no shit.
Done.
No, I don't know if it's in Texas, but somewhere some school district did ban
Oh yeah,
Mouse.
dude. They
For sure,
listen.
yeah.
They're banning books right
Yeah.
and left. And again, I just laugh because your kids. I don't care what you think. Your kids are seeing 10 times worse than that,
Yeah.
and you're ignoring it because you're on your phone
Yeah.
while they're on their
Well,
phone.
here's the thing: when you say they're banning it, we're only talking about a very small group of
No, it's-
uptight people.
But
Yeah, but
they're
it's more and more.
successful doing it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, but I'm saying, but we're talking. It's like the Supreme Court. You're talking about a very small group of people who are basically imposing their views and their will on the majority of people who don't agree with them.
Yeah.
That's really what you're doing.
Listen, libraries and schools all over, and even regular city libraries, a few people come in, 5, 6 parents don't want a book.
Libraries.
Libraries. it's my blueberries and libraries are my favorite.
Liberia.
But yeah, 5 or 6 people come in and say they don't want it, and these books are being taken away because 5 or 6 people don't want it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Right.
In places where there's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm just thinking, if somebody came in, if I'm a librarian, right? I mean, at this point, I really don't give a shit about anything, right? I'm going to try to teach kids about not doing drugs and alcohol. But if I'm a librarian and somebody comes in, 5 or 6 people, we're outraged, we don't want this book, and I would just go like this book? I go, hey, kids, free books. And I would just start handing out the books. Yeah, I would just like, hey, there's only one book in here. You can't check I'm sorry, we don't have any more video games, but you can check out this book. Yeah, this is the only one.
No, but
See, I remember growing up, Lord of the Flies was like.
Lord of the
Oh,
Flies.
yeah.
Remember
In
Lord
our
of the
I still
Flies?
have
library,
it.
everybody wanted that book out of our school, a grammar school library. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
always out. It was always out.
Yeah, I mean, and it was funny because when we were in school, we had 2 librarians. I remember this, 2 librarians. One librarian was a bitch, okay? And if you were like in 5th grade and you wanted to read something that had like, it was allegedly a 7th grade book, and like it had a 7th grade level on it, she wouldn't let you do it. We ended up having to steal books from the library and then sneak them back in. We would have to sneak them out and sneak them back in. I actually got caught. Are you ready for this? Sneaking a book back into my library.
Because it was above your level.
Because it was above my level.
So
that's
that's
it.
technically kind of banned for you.
Yeah.
And it's just what we're talking about. They're going to read them if you ban them.
Yeah, but
More
We
people
used to
gonna-
get sent just to one area.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're in 5th grade. Go to that area. You're reading like Encyclopedia Brown or
I
something
loved
like
Encyclopedia
that.
Browns. It was so.
Oh, he
I
was
loved
the,
it.
Do your
he
book
was the-
report
he was
on
the
it.
detective. He was the detective, right?
Yeah.
Who was the
Yeah.
other one? It was Nancy Drew, Encyclopedia
The
Brown.
Hardy Boys.
Hardy
Hardy
Boys.
Yeah, Encyclopedia Brown. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was, dude. And we we're not allowed to read that stuff, and we had to steal it.
The funny thing is, like, even if you happen to test really high, you could only read what your grade level was. There
Right.
was a group.
The librarian in my grammar school was friends with John Belushi.
Ooh.
She was cool as hell.
Oh, so you guys
I would
got
hope so.
drugs and shit. Oh,
No,
that's
no, no.
awesome.
I think our librarian was like 80 years old.
Oh, she was a mean bitch.
Yeah.
Miss Harney. I
Yeah.
remember that.
And you
I
had
remember
to.
her name.
You had to stand up and point. If she said north, south, east, or west, you had to stand up and point. And if you didn't get it right, you were in big trouble.
Oh, she would just humiliate you.
But see,
Yeah.
that's the point. See, I blame the management for not removing her from her position because she was, like I said, if you had to steal,
Unremovable,
if you had to, but if you have to steal a book because it's 2 grades above your level, I mean, and it's because of the will of one person, that's the system's fault for allowing that person to be there and not removing them and not seeing the big picture.
So our library, we actually had a class for library. We had to go
we had
there.
There was a
Actually,
life,
Yeah, and then every year she started out with the same thing, and she'd write assume on the chalkboard, and then she'd put the dashes and go never assume. Why? Because you make an ass out of you and me. This is how she started every year. Like whether
it.
you
I'm
were in
sure,
like
I'm sure she had like a routine down
first
it.
grade or
Yeah.
8th grade.
If she's teaching like, if she's been teaching like say 40 years, like if she's 80 years old, she's probably been there for like 40
And she
years.
had to teach the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, yeah.
Every year over and over because nobody retained
No,
it.
listen,
yeah.
listen.
Oh,
I
we had
was
to use the card catalog. we got
that was-
tested on it.
Dude, it was a point where I couldn't take out books because I didn't know the Dewey Decimal. Like, we would take
remember
a
the Dewey
quiz.
I remember
right?
the Dewey
We would take a
Decimal
quiz,
System.
and I would get it wrong.
It's
And then
gone.
her punishment was you can't take out a book. And then
So-
we would
so-
have to
so-
we'd have to steal
Wait,
books
so
to
now,
read.
so basically your punishment is we're gonna ban you from knowledge, so you know even less now.
Yes.
You're
No
too-
books for you.
You're too stupid to know the Dewey Decimal System, so now you're not entitled to
Now
any
there's
type
a
of
list
education.
of banned people that can go to the library.
Well, Matt got banned from a lot of
I got it.
things.
So she was the original cancel culture. She was the original cancel culture.
Listen, that is, and funny enough that we brought, this is so weird that we bring this up. That is actually one of the reasons I became a teacher, because I didn't want to be that total bitch who like ruins school for people. Because I got to be honest, Jackie was very good at school. We probably have to introduce everybody, but Jackie was very good at school.
Oh,
I
you were
was
one of
very
those.
bad at school, and I have this funny feeling that it came from this like rigid, sit in your desk, don't get up, try to be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm the least quiet human being on the planet.
I say that all the time. You're super smart, but you just couldn't attend to
He's so
what was going
vindictive.
on.
He said to myself, I am going to grow up to be a teacher and fuck your grandkids up in school.
Yeah,
I'm going to
that-
find
Oh
out where your children live, and
Yeah.
I'm going to teach their children.
Right. Matt, I totally agree with you, though. I totally agree.
Yeah, it was just so weird. Okay, so I'm going to start this thing so everybody knows who's sitting here, and then we can start talking about this because I hate to do this, but I got to give Teddy credit for what we're going to talk about today because it's so bizarre to me. Okay, Teddy, are you ready?
Yes.
You're not. You're a piece of shit.
I found it.
Hey, everybody. My name is Matt, and welcome to the Real Three Idiots podcast. With me, as always, is the top dog, the numero uno, the one and only Teddington of York.
Wow.
Not me. I'm just a cog in the wheel. The only Duke of York is what's his name? Prince Andrew. You heard he got heckled at at Mumsy's funeral.
Mumsy.
Somebody didn't they arrest a guy that heckled
So
him?
some 22-year-old kid, basically, it was like really silent, and he comes out and called, and whatever the English word is for pedophile is like it's called nonce.
Pedophile?
Yeah, it was called nonce. I guess it was just like the English version for pedophile. And so they I guess two bystanders pulled this guy out. He was arrested. So basically, their social media now is basically saying that this guy's being punished more than Prince Andrew, who actually is a pedophile, and paid this woman $12 million, for her silence. They're punishing this guy for disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Wow.
Disturbing the peace.
Alleged.
Yeah. Can you believe that? I mean, that makes sense in China. That does not make sense in England.
No.
Right?
But it's about the queen, so everybody's all up in arms.
Well, you talking about the most useless human on the planet? Sorry. I mean, no offense. No offense. But the royal family thing, I don't know if you guys know this. The royal family in overall is worth about $5 billion.
Prince William.
And they do nothing.
Insane.
Prince William just inherited the $1 billion estate, so he's going to move, whatever the pecking order is. So, she passed away, so obviously it's King Charles now, so now it's Prince William. He's obviously a step closer to the throne. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Andrew is actually going to be he's called the deputy king or counselor. So basically, if King seriously, so
Prince Andrew does this. No, that kid's too old.
Which one's in Canada?
Do you have
with
a
his
younger
wife?
one?
what's that?
Which one's living in Canada? Which of his sons are living in Canada?
Oh, that's the one with Meghan Markle, right?
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the
Mr.
joke
Balls.
about so when they moved, when they decided to leave the royal family and give up all their financial support from the family. What a fucking joke. His grandma's 96 years old. She's going to die and he's going to get $1 billion. So it's very easy to say, no, we don't need financial assistance from you anymore. She's already a millionaire.
Yeah. She's worth allegedly she's worth about $600 million. Prince Charles worth about $500 million.
King Charles.
King Charles.
King Charles III. So going back to what I was going to say. So Andrew, despite being stripped of all his royal military titles, he's actually he's basically the deputy king. So if Charles is out of the country, he's actually the king.
That's disgusting.
I feel like
Because he's second in line. There's four people who can be in line.
I feel like school children everywhere should revolt. They should.
It's so funny
honestly.
because I was thinking about okay, so King Charles is getting a new job in his 70s, and I said to Steve, that is so ridiculous. And then I stopped myself. I was like, our last two presidents.
Yeah.
In their 70s.
Yeah.
So stupid.
80s almost. May as well be 80s. I mean, if you're up in your upper 70s.
Well, here's the funny thing. So somebody asked me the other day, oh man, it looks like it's going to be Trump and Biden. And they're like, we're sitting around, having a couple of drinks and talking, and they said, well, who'd you vote for? And I looked right at him. I said, listen, I'm voting for Ted. I'm writing his name in. I go, if my choice is either one of those two people, vote for Ted.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, see, this is how toxic. This is how dysfunctional politics are in the United States. So basically, the Democrats' logic is that Biden beat Trump the first time. So if Trump runs again, they have to make Biden the nominee because he's the only guy.
No.
But that's how they think. That's how they. I know, but that's how they think.
No.
He's just too old.
Yeah.
No, he is as close to senile. I mean, the two of them.
Ted could win.
There is no way that you could
got
put
your
the
back,
two
Ted.
of them in a room and come out with a coherent thought.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Wait, Ted can't win.
yes, he can.
No, because you have to write it in.
Well, so far.
So you have to.
Or you could become an
You can't use your
independent.
last name. You just have to go by Ted. You have to
Ted.
change-
Oh, it's just Ted.
That would be easy. So just change your name to Ted.
Legally, just
like
Ted.
McLovin.
The artist,
Ted.
the artist
Yeah.
formerly known as
so,
Ted.
So now, anybody, fuck it, Ted. They're not going to start going.
No.
Right.
They
They
have to
would
write.
never.
It would have to be in writing because you're
People
not
are
getting
going
out
to
on the
vote
ballot.
for you because they're like, hey, I got a buddy named
Yeah.
Ted. Ted's awesome.
For sure, but Jackie,
Yeah.
he can't be. He's not going to be on a ballot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a writing, but it's got to be your first
I
and last
think you
name.
need-
So
I
if
think-
you just have one name,
One
Ted.
name.
I don't know what the rules
So
are.
we
but
got to
I
get
think
on this right now. He's got to change his name now.
you need like
This is
100,000.
happening.
I think you need 100,000 signatures or something. I can't remember what the
to
criteria
get
is.
on
Not
where-
that.
Teddy-
No, not to get on the president, the ballot for president.
The president. Yeah.
You got
the
to have
ballot.
more than 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some rules, but
There's 100,000 for alderman.
Here, I'll tell everybody. I'll tell everybody listening. I'm moving forward with this. This is the things that are. I mean, no, we haven't talked about Ted for president recently, but things are moving forward. Okay, I mean, can we officially get him on the ballot? You know what? Maybe not this year. Maybe not for 2024 officially. But Mark, what a genius idea! That is a genius idea.
I
Just
like it.
Ted. The whole world can spell Ted.
Then we don't need to get him on the ballot. He could just write it in.
Everybody could do that.
And by the
Right.
way, if I'm not on the ballot, my vote for president again is Admiral James Stockdale and Lyndon LaRouche.
Jesus Christ. You are a
Isn't that a
buffoon.
dog?
No, those were, I think they ran for president like back in the 90s. That was actually that was the
Picturing
first
like
time.
a beagle or
No, that was
Somebody
the
naming their
first
dog
It's
time.
like
Lyndon
some
LaRouche?
English guy's dog.
No, that was the first time there was like a third party. Like remember Ross Perot was the first
yeah.
like third party candidate to actually make it on
yep,
the debate
yep.
stage. He was like the first guy. He was like he predated Trump.
How
Before
about,
that
how
was
about we
just
vote for McGruff?
exactly yeah.
Crime dog.
Crime dog. We know he'll be tough on crime. We know that. Okay. So let me do this. Let's see. Joining us for the magical third time, and thank God we're only giving out golden tiaras. We learned about that last week. This would be terrible. Is my all-seeing and all-knowing sister Jackie?
Thanks for having me. It's actually my 4th time.
Is it? Oh,
Yep.
is it really?
Did one at the brewery.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know what?
do I get something more than a tiara?
Ted is.
You get a wand.
How
you get
far,
a, you get
how
a,
far
a
away is
scepter.
Ted sitting
You
for
get a,
me
scepter.
right
You get a scepter. Is it a scepter?
Scepter.
Scepter.
It is amazing to me that you know the words, and once again, you can't say the words.
With a big
Sounded good,
diamond.
though.
With a big
Yeah,
diamond
sounded
on
good.
it.
All right. Ooh, so I go from a tiara to a big diamond. Cool.
Yeah. Ted, you're in charge of getting the diamond. Okay. And back for a second Smash week is our good buddy Mark.
Thank you. Back to back.
Back to back. Yeah, it's very nice to
He's
have you
trying
guys.
to one-up me.
Yeah.
Hey,
4. That's bullshit. You've been on 2 in a row. Nope. Okay, so
I
everybody.
know how competitive you guys are.
We a
Little bit.
A little bit. Hey, who won the last time we played Shanghai?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I suck at that
Yeah.
game. Okay, so everybody listening is probably like, hey, asshole, aren't you supposed to be talking beer with the local brewer and your buddy Matty Ice, who is a giant beer dork, but we love him. And yes, we were supposed to, but unfortunately, this is not the Joe Rogan show, and sometimes our guests show up, and sometimes they don't. Okay? Brian, who was supposed to come from Illuminated Brew, unfortunately couldn't make it.
Maybe another time.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have him on another time, okay? And what we do have is a great opportunity, okay? So like I said, Tuesday, Teddy and I were drinking over at the driving range, and he had this great idea. And I thought, this is going to be the best show ever. And he said to me, he goes, hey, man, who do you think the most important person in the world is right now?
I found the text, by the way.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
So Teddy
And I
has been
highlighted
Teddy has been searching for that. So I thought, hey man, that is an unbelievable concept. Because who really is the most important person in the world right now? Like seriously.
I think this week it's the Queen. That's all anybody is
Well,
talking about.
who's alive? Who's alive? Like,
I mean, her body is just.
But
being,
how
like,
is? But here's the thing.
I get you.
Here's the thing, and we're not going to get into it right yet because Teddy's still got to do Ted's tips for 20s. But there is no way a person who does nothing can be important. I'm sorry. I mean, she's just. I know. Here, you ready? I was driving around today and I saw all the American flags at half mast.
Oh, is that what that was for?
Yes, that's what I
didn't
think.
know that.
So you know what? You know what the first thought?
I didn't
first
even
thing
make the
was,
connection.
I got on my phone and I'm like, oh my god. What school shooting happened? That's the first. That's the first thing I thought of,
Yeah.
right? The first thing I thought
That's
of was
what I
some
thought.
idiot
Like,
with a gun.
Something happened in the United States.
Right. But I
I
believe
think 7 kids got shot last night or the night before. Maybe it's because of that.
What?
Yeah, in
Where?
Chicago.
Chicago. Well, that happens. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's a regular
7
occurrence.
kids. Like I'm talking like 8 and under.
in a school.
no, I mean
No,
separate in the city.
separate.
I think one kid was in his bedroom sleeping, and the
Yeah.
and the bullet went through his
Yeah.
wall.
You know what?
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
that's
no,
called
Banner Day.
reality, man.
nobody's lowering the flag at half staff for that, which is a real tragedy. But yet they're lowering
But
it
that
for
happens
but,
every
But here,
weekend,
what they're doing,
Teddy.
they're lowering it for a 96-year-old woman who's lived a pampered existence. You know, I'm not saying she's a bad person, but yeah, she's lived the most
Right.
opulent existence, treated with kid gloves. I mean, the type of existence we all dream about, right? She has her country estate in Scotland,
Edinburgh.
among other things.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
you
a bad at
realize,
English accents,
No,
you know,
no. You're terrible at all accents. But you realize King Charles.
King
Charles
Charles III.
King Charles.
The third.
You know, he fired. You ready for this? So he has a house, right? And he had servants at his house. He had to fire 100 servants when he moved into the palace. 100 house servants.
Why is that?
I want you to think about this. He had 100 house servants that he didn't need at his house.
So that means there's more than 100. That means there's 300?
But just think about this. He has a house with over 100 servants, so that 100 had to be let go. What is happening
Wait,
at his house?
Did you see the video of him, like he was sitting at the desk to sign something, and then he had like a little tiny thing, like a pen in front of him, and he wouldn't touch it. He was like waving to his servants to move it. Like he couldn't do this. He had to have somebody
Servants
This
are
is-
paid.
do
though.
that.
They're paid people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
They're
can
not
fire them.
asleep.
Because I just heard a story today.
That's true. I mean, it's not like indentured servitude. They are
Right.
getting
They're not.
paid. Yeah.
But they
So
call
the-
them servants.
the
They're like
thing is-
they're like assistants.
The thing is, the reason that they do that, from like watching The Crown, I don't know a whole lot, but is that's the tradition.
Sure.
Is that someone has to, like, if you just go, like, that's why Diana kind of like threw everything off, because she would do stuff on her own. But like that person, the tradition is that servant is supposed to hand you that pen. And then you can sign or whatever, which is
Sure.
ridiculous.
That makes. I mean,
Wait,
I guess it makes sense.
bullshit. If
Oh,
I
but-
hold on a
Oh,
second.
by the way, the pen was
I see-
leaking.
there's a
By the
pen-
way,
yeah.
did you know that?
There's a pen right next to me, and if I had a pen asshole, I would be like, pen asshole, get over here. and hand me that
Actually,
pen."
this pen is better than the one that Prince Charles or King Charles used, because I guess the pen he was using to sign whatever he was signing, it actually leaked out.
That's funny.
and Ted, and that is why he fired 100 people.
Bloody hell, it happened again.
Fire the pen asshole immediately and have his family murdered. No, better yet, have his children sent to Prince Ant. No, not cool, not cool, not cool,
That's
not
going
cool.
too far.
Okay, all right, Teddy. Before we get to most important person in the world, which honestly, this is awesome to me.
You know what's awesome? It was his idea.
It was his idea.
He
I don't know who the most
texted it
important
to
person-
you.
Yep, and then forgot.
And then forgot. No, not. He knew he texted it to somebody, but he's like, "Who did I text
No,
this
I
to?"
just
And you're like,
no, I knew
"Fuck
the
do you know?
concept.
Why would you text this to somebody else besides me?
No, I just texted.
is
I just
I
texted.
must have texted Jimmy about
have
this
to
one.
know that you texted it
No,
to
I
me because
texted.
it's my show.
I texted the concept of it, but then we talked about detail. We were just kind of spitballing who it might be at the time, but we just wanted to keep the concept
Yeah.
alive.
All right, well, we're
Dude,
back on
that
track.
was
We know.
Okay.
Listen to me. That was so awesome that he didn't know that it was me. But you know what? I knew he wouldn't remember, and that's why I told him. I'm like, my phone. So my phone was dead at the time, right? So my phone's sitting there. It's lifeless. I'm like, Teddy, you got to text me this, please. I'm not gonna. I mean, I knew I wouldn't remember, right? Like I have all these great ideas, and then I just, if I don't text somebody something, they disappear. They're gone into crazy land or drunken land or drug land. Kids, don't do drugs or drink. Okay.
I can't wait till you start your new job.
This is gonna be so.
You can teach them if
Awesome.
don't do drugs and drink, but if you do,
Yeah.
text somebody your
Oh,
thoughts
yeah.
and feelings so that you know
All right.
what's
Hey,
going on.
Boys and girls, I
Choose
solved
your
world hunger.
T-shirts wisely, man.
Yeah, boys and girls, I solved world hunger yesterday, and you know what? In my face, I was too drunk to remember. So don't do that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You guys want to be famous? Don't drink. Okay. All right. So Teddy, are you ready for Ted's tips for 20s?
I am, but it might be redundant. So if it is,
That just means it is.
Just cut me off.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I got something else lined up, so it's okay.
Just means
I
it's
got- I got-
important.
I
that
got
you have
plan- I
to.
got
You have
plan
to.
B.
You have to pound it home.
I do think
Reiterate it.
I do think it's important though. Actually, I was doing not some research, but I was just reading stuff on the internet where I think it's like a repeating theme that I think is kind of important. So I don't mind repeating the same thing twice if it's important.
Ted, everyone listening does though,
Okay,
and I do.
Good. All right.
You are so lucky. Ted is literally what we call this 8 feet away. Is Ted 8 feet away from me?
No,
Sure.
It seemed like 10.
10 feet. This is 10 feet? Oh, man,
10
my dick is way bigger than I thought. All right, so Ted is 10 feet away from me. I mean, you know what? I'm too lazy to get up and kick your ass, so forget it. Go ahead, Teddy. Ted's tips for 20s. Let's hear what you got.
Okay, so I just actually just read today that
You son of a bitch. You had a week to do this, and you... God, this... Folks, listen. If you have a friend like Ted,
a lot of
please
information
get online, get on our social media, and just tell us all about your friend who's just like
there's
Ted.
a lot of information out there. So I mean, so anyway, so housing, I didn't know this is so expensive that it actually takes 35% of your income to afford like a house, which is like ridiculous because it should be no more than like 18-20% of your total income.
Is that right?
Yeah, 35% because housing prices are just out of control. I'm just talking about the United States. I don't know what it is in the rest of the world. But
And
let's
also
just
people
assume,
buy houses out of their
yeah.
range,
Well, here's the
but
thing
yeah.
too. So I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if people are aware of this, but so individual people who just want to buy a home are competing with hedge funds, professional hedge funds that have billions of dollars. So like for example, Jeff Bezos, who obviously owns Amazon,
Bezos, you fucking...
Bezos,
Yeah. Say it
Bezos,
right.
Bezos, whatever.
Yeah.
He's
Sounded good.
Yeah.
he's buying
Smooth.
he's buying entire neighborhoods. He's buying the whole his hedge whatever his hedge fund for real estate is buying entire neighborhoods like in Texas,
What?
entire neighborhoods
Wait a
of
minute.
single
wait a minute.
family homes,
So if I walked around outside
hundreds
here,
at a time.
So if I walked around outside here and I just drove around, I saw like 10 houses for sale.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that there's some giant rich jagoff who's buying those up.
Yes. They have billions of dollars. They're paying cash. They have an army of contractors that can do with the rehab. You're competing against, it's like basically like a little leaguer competing against a professional
I mean, at
player.
some point, they're not going to
Baseball
get
player?
they're
Well,
not
they're
going to get screwed out of it because it's just so expensive.
Well, they're not going to get everybody, but the point I'm trying to make is that the inventory is shrinking because you're dealing with these professional hedge funds who have not millions, billions of dollars. And like I said, they're not buying 1, 2, 3 properties. They're buying 200, 300, 400 properties. They're buying whole swaths of land. They're buying entire subdivisions across the country.
Okay, so where Steve is in Miami,
Yep.
right? It's kind of
which is now super expensive now, which is actually one of the most expensive places to buy homes.
Yeah, and there's an area that
condos.
was a lot of factories and stuff, and it got run down. And one guy came in and bought like a couple miles, like a couple square miles.
That's one guy. So now extrapolate that for an army of professional investment bankers, what they can do. If one guy can do what,
Well,
you're
that
about to say-
area went from being the biggest, like the worst ghetto in Florida to the most expensive real estate.
Sure.
It's
Yeah. Well,
It's crazy.
So what you're saying is they're buying them, fixing them up.
Yeah.
And
And then renting them out at exorbitant prices.
Right.
Where
So they're changing the whole market.
They're changing the whole demographics. Just like for example, in Chicago, you had Cabrini Green, which was one of the worst housing projects in the country, which was super dangerous. But now that's been torn down, and so that whole area is red hot. I mean, you can't even get a sniff. Gentrified. Yeah, for the most part. So we're talking about you're paying $1,600 a month for a micro apartment that's maybe 500 square feet. Yeah, so it's gone completely the other way. So I guess the point I'm trying to make with the tip is that, and this is going to be hard to do because young people in their 20s, they should buy real estate. I wish I had done that. So that's the thing I wish I did in my 20s. So here's what you can do. So let's just say you have your average entry level job. You're making $35,000, $45,000 a year before taxes. If you could somehow get that level of cooperation between you and some friends and just buy something, buy a house, buy a duplex, buy a threeplex somewhere. And just whatever you got to see an attorney, but own that property because real estate is scarce. Just like Roy Rogers said, they ain't building no more land. Land is scarce.
so people are doing this though. They're
Who said that?
talking
Aaron
about
Rodgers?
Roy Rogers. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. Roy Rogers, he was the guy with the horse back in the day. The horse, yeah. Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Ted,
you said right.
they're doing this though. So they're encouraging like either multi-generational, to buy together or like family or friends.
Yeah.
Like me and Matt living together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it is. So
murder.
Here's the thing. So in America, the common thing is like.
Well, then, so if you die, I get the house. So
Why automatically I have to die? There's so many kids that I need to teach how not to do drugs.
right. All right. Sorry, Ted. You're doing a good job.
No, it's fine. So the point is like in other countries when they say the family stays together, we're talking about parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, kids, grandkids, all under the same roof. We're here, this guy's got to get an apartment over here because he wants his privacy. This daughter's got to get her apartment over here because she wants her space. So now you're spending $1,000 here, $1,000 there, $2,000 there. Think about it. If you're under the same roof, you could actually buy $1 million home. Say you have like 5 or 10 able-bodied people making $38,000 a year. You can qualify for $1 million home.
Right. Two different kitchens.
Yeah,
different
exactly.
Wings
Yeah. You're going to give up a little privacy, but can you give up a little privacy to see the big picture?
Well, then you can give up a little privacy, right? Then you can
just
invest in other, but then you can
exactly.
take that extra money that you have and invest in buy someplace for somebody else, and make some money off of that. So Teddy, this is funny. I think you did actually say something similar to this, but with the way things are changing, with what you added, I am always amazed at the feedback from social media on your tips for 20s. It is the most amazing thing. I honestly feel like if we stop doing this, that people would stop listening.
So I thought you were going to say people would die.
I think
That's
so
like
too.
would literally. I mean,
everyone.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Ted,
you're gonna be. I don't control the ozone layer. It's okay.
Instead of Jonestown, it'd be Tedstown. Yeah.
So the tip is do what you can to buy rather than rent.
With cooperation. Whatever you got to do. And like I said, if you got to get your buddies, your friends, like even if you're not the best friends with them, just structure something legally. But just you can do it. Like so, you can't do it by yourself. If you're making $30,000 a year. I get it. But let's just say you have 10 people. You have
friends,
10 people, and you're all making $30,000. That's $300,000 of income. You can qualify for a $500,000 home easily.
Oh yeah.
And you got to live somewhere, right? Everyone's got to live somewhere, right?
You know what?
That's a tip for next week.
I guess
Everyone's gotta live somewhere, right?
maybe not.
Yeah,
Teddy, maybe not, because I found out that there's a park down the street from here where there's homeless people living in tents, and I can't Listen.
I saw a homeless person this morning actually.
No, but
sleeping,
there's like a tent town in a park,
sure.
and they can't do anything in the park because there's a tent town
They're
in there.
just set up all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, like in Tucson, where my friends live, their main park in the middle there, they have given up on it, and they tell all. I mean, I don't know, tell all the homeless people. The homeless people just set up there, and it's just like, you can be here, you can't be anywhere else, but you can be here, and an entire park is completely destroyed.
I guess
wrecked,
they have
whatever.
squatters' rights.
Yeah, that's not a thing. That's impossible to me. There is no way.
It's happening all over, though. I
It's
mean,
happening in my basement. My 16-year-old has squatted rights. I'm out of my basement now. My oldest moved out. He's in college. He took his room too. He's got 2 rooms in the house. He claimed squatters' rights.
There was a
so it's not a thing.
You better be very careful, man. You could have a ton of homeless in your house.
Yeah, but honestly, even if you can live in that area, who wants to live in a tent when you can live in a nice house? Let's just say, let's just say
these are homeless people.
Sure.
Yeah, that's technically a tent is like 1,000 times better than a cardboard box.
Sure.
But
you're outside in the elements versus
Teddy,
like shelter
listen.
over your head.
Yeah, I mean, in a couple of months when it's 60 below zero. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just don't see how they can live in a park and everybody's cool with this. Like, I mean,
it's not cool because I feel bad for the homeless people. I definitely do, and I, advocate for them getting services and everything. But you take over a park that's supposed to be there for families to use, and they can't because
I mean, they were trying to do like a summer camp thing.
Yeah.
And they were just
look at San Francisco.
So you bring your
Francisco.
kids, you
San
drop
Francisco.
them off, and there's like 50 homeless people interacting with your children. Now, I'm sure all the homeless people have some really good life stories, kind of like maybe like the life stories I'll tell to kids. But I just feel like I don't want my 5-year-old hanging out with a homeless guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being homeless per se, but the point is, it's just it's just one of those things.
Yes, there is, Ted.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with it.
Sure.
I mean, let's Ted. I mean, there is something wrong with it.
They don't have a roof
home.
over their head.
Homeless is. I mean, you don't have to be mentally ill to be homeless. You could be homeless by choice. You could be homeless because you're just financially, you're at a financial option. So there's a lot of reasons why people
That's
are
not
homeless.
really by choice, though.
Some people are
being
homeless
financially out of
but some people are choose to live that. I mean, there's Harvard graduates who are homeless. So I mean, it just depends.
Somebody who graduated last, last at Harvard.
Well, you know what? I'd rather be last at Harvard.
No, you wouldn't, Ted. You'd be homeless. Ted, you could be last at Harvard, or like me, 497th at Eastern Illinois, and you have a home.
Jim Carrey was homeless for a while when he was growing up. He lived in a car with his mom, dad, and his siblings.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know
his
that.
dad. His dad was just worked. They had a home. Lost his job. They lost a house. And they were homeless for a significant amount of time. Wow. He lived in a car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people are only like a paycheck away from being homeless. I mean, for
no,
example,
it's not. I mean, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not just mentally ill.
No, not mentally ill.
No, definitely.
It's a financial thing.
Oh,
So go back to your tips.
No, so the last tip I have.
Buy early.
I was going to say, if you're going to be homeless, try to get a houseboat because you don't have to pay property tax. Listen,
that's not homeless.
No, listen.
A houseboat.
No, but I'm saying if you
Ted, it's the same as a home
No,
boat.
but I'm saying if you get a houseboat, you don't have to pay property taxes on a houseboat. No property taxes.
But Ted, you're at the mercy of the water.
Well, you're docked, kind of like a casino riverboat. You're just.
But you
staying
have
on
to-
dock.
but
You're
then
not-
you have to pay to be
yeah,
docked
you
where
can't
That's
you're
just
what
be
docked.
everybody
docked.
did in Mississippi, and then Katrina came, and every boat's gone.
So it's like a trailer park. You got to pay the lot fee, right?
Yeah, Teddy.
Yeah.
And I've lived in trailer parks. There's nothing wrong with the trailer park.
Yes,
by
there
the
is.
way.
Ted,
There's nothing wrong
trailer
with the
parks are
park.
terrible.
I lived in a trailer park.
Ted, listen.
I made it out.
Listen, for everybody out there, and we're getting off of this in 1 second.
Yep, I
but
feel
if
like
you-
we should definitely
Yeah,
veer
but if
right.
you ever want to, John Oliver did a great thing on trailer parks and how they scam people.
The owners of the properties,
Yeah, and that you talk about like
That's
mega
horrible.
corporations taking over. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get back to our topic. Great tip, Ted. That
The tip's over, by
again,
the way. So we
again,
talked
Teddy.
about it, yeah.
Every time, somehow this ends up being good, and I don't get it. I really don't. Okay, but so our whole thing was I want to talk about who's the most important person in the world.
Who's alive?
Yeah, who's alive?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Ted, if
Like-
you say Babe Ruth, I'm gonna.
No, like if they died tomorrow, everyone would lose their mind. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe.
No,
this person
I just think like
died.
people who have influence over what's happening.
Well, I mean, like, for example, okay, if Kanye West died in a plane crash tomorrow, everyone would lose their shit, right? Because he's like Kanye West. I mean, like, he's not important to us, but the point is he's just so famous for being famous. Or just think about the most famous person that we see every day
not
who's
famous.
forced down our
Teddy,
throats.
Teddy, most important.
Well, isn't famous synonymous with important?
No. So let me here. I'll throw mine out, and then you guys can do whatever. But one of the things I was thinking about is I know this is going to sound insane, but I think one of the most important people in the world right now is Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And here's the reason why. He is clearly unhinged, right?
Clearly.
Okay, he's clearly unhinged. He has invaded a country. Things are going bad.
Terrible. I mean, he's lost. He's actually getting his ass kicked. I mean, he actually might get removed from power somehow.
Well,
I mean, they're formulating that.
I don't believe that because here's the
well,
the
you know
funny
what
part about
you know what
this.
happened to Stalin, right? You know what happened to Stalin, right? I mean, Stalin had an iron grip on the country. You want to tell you what happened to Stalin?
What happened to Stalin?
They poisoned him with warfarin to get rid of him.
Yes, we all know that. Everyone who's listened to the show
because he's a fucking
knows
loser.
that.
I mean,
he's a lunatic.
It's been maybe 2 months since he mentioned warfarin, though. So
or Coumadin. I'm sorry, Coumadin. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, so maybe
Oh, shit.
maybe newer listeners don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. We have new listeners every day, so let's not assume because we repeat stuff.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even think about
There
that.
you go.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. I didn't even think about that. So
you know what? The state of Minnesota, brand new. Yeah. Just this morning. No, somebody from Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. I almost forgot about this. I didn't do our sponsor.
Before Ted's Tips for 20s.
Holy shit. You know what? It's funny. Our sponsors pay big money to go right before Ted's Tips because they know that it's coming. All right.
Maybe he has another tip.
Now they're going to pay bigger money now.
No, we're not doing that shit. But I got to get to sponsor. Mark.
Yep.
You know what's coming up this next month, right?
I do.
And
it's my favorite month.
yes, it is. All right, that's right, everybody. It is the greatest weekend of the year, October 14th through the 16th in the fairgrounds at Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's the 27th annual Dildo Races. Yeah, that's right. Dildo racers from all over the world will converge for the greatest racing experience known to man. There will be spills, chills, and dills all weekend long. And this year, Baron Von Butt Plugs will be hosting the Butt Plug Battle Royale. You don't want to miss it. It's a good, wholesome fun for the whole family. Everybody can enjoy it. This year's event is being sponsored by Paul Pierre's Porn Park. Yes, they were a sponsor on our show, where porn is more than just a short ride. So come all to Santa Fe, New Mexico from the 14th through the 16th and see the spectacle that is dildo racing. Mention the Three Idiots podcast and get $5 off your ticket.
I think you're going to really increase the population there.
Hey, listen.
They're going to be going.
Mark knows. We've talked about this.
Yeah,
it was one of the things. It was so funny because Mark and I have been friends for a long time, right?
And I've learned so much from you, Matt.
Yeah, yeah. We've been talking about this for a long time.
My condolences. Yes.
But yeah, so we golf all the time at Andy's thing. So Father's Day weekend, we've been doing it for 15 years? Yeah. And so one of the things I mentioned a long time ago was the dildo races, and Mark is just like, he goes, "Get out of here."
That's
and I'm
a thing?
Yeah. And he's just like, and so the next year we got together. You won't see each other all that often. And he's just like, he goes, "Dude, yeah." He goes, "We have to go do this." And so every year we've been talking about it, but we've never actually gone. So, Mark, I hope you have some free time. I would love to plan a trip. Teddy, I know you love a good trip. Are you in for dildo racing?
I guess I am now. Yes, thank you.
Yes!
What choice do I have?
This is. I mean, you can just say no, Ted.
Well, it's hard to say no sometimes. so persuasive.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I want to get back to this. I just people paid money for this, and I want to make sure they get what they're doing.
Got to make sure your sponsors.
Dildo. That's all you wanted to do.
No,
Just say dildo.
You just want to say dildo as many times as
With
possible.
a purpose.
Mark, it's 36 shows. I think I've said dildo at least 100 times. If I haven't, no, I'm not
We'll
gonna
go
do
back.
It. So do you guys see where like Vladimir Putin is kind of an important guy, right? I mean, on top of what he's doing, he literally has his finger on nuclear weapons. So he could literally be the most important person in the world.
Well, I agree because, like I said, it was just basically his decision and his alone to invade an entire country, which is like, like I said, if I'm his advisor, I'd be like, sir, with all due respect, in this day and age we live in, you can't do that anymore. I mean, this isn't like the 13th century. I mean, people are going to be watching you, and
From
it's
what I've
24
heard,
media
people did advise him not to, and
Well, I think everyone's so scared of him, because he can,
Right.
I think like some of his like his close associates have died under mysterious circumstances,
Yeah,
like
so
falling out of
two-
windows, fell out of a yacht, something like
So
that.
just
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah,
two of his
yeah.
close allies in the last month have died, and 3 people from a company that they have a giant energy corporation called Luke Oil, right? So 3 people from Luke Oil have died within the last, I think, like 4 months. Now, if you can believe it or not, okay, all 3 of them that have died have stabbed themselves to death 20 to 30
25
times.
times?
Yeah,
Yeah.
20 to 30 times, and then rape themselves right after they're
Wow.
done. Yeah. So they're literally like 2 of his allies. These 3 people have said like, don't do this. This is a terrible idea. They're all dead. So I don't know. He sounds pretty important
So
to me.
that's your pick to click.
Well, that's one of mine. That's one of mine. I mean, if somebody else has something better, I don't know who's a better person. I mean, what about
Who's the most important person in the world?
the most important person in the world right now?
Oh, right now. Okay.
Right now. So let me do this. What about the person? I mean, and this is going to happen. What about the person who's about to cure cancer?
See,
Right? I mean,
Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet.
well, I was
Right,
going
but
to say my thing was when you said this, but you're putting an emphasis on right now. Mine was really the most important person in the world. We probably don't know who that is at this moment.
right?
There are things. The world's changing so quick, right?
Absolutely.
And we always tell like all the kids coming out of high school and going into college, and they don't know what they want to do yet. The big thing is your job. What you're going to end up doing isn't even created yet. That industry, it's like you don't know what you're going to do because it's not there yet.
Yeah.
So I mean that would be my thing. Like right now, there's
Elon-
somebody out there, but we don't know who. it is
Elon
right
Musk.
Wow.
Is he one of the most important people in the world? Just with his influence and his innovation, and obviously he's a little bit eccentric, obviously,
course.
because
I make that
when,
argument.
because when
Yeah.
you're
You can say that,
because when
yeah.
you're poor you're crazy. When you're rich you're eccentric. You know how that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean,
He's changing
Is he? But he's not really doing anything that's changing.
Well, man,
what
he's
we're
done something that no one's done in the history.
Well, I think he was the electric vehicle. He was
no,
the
that whole thing
precursor.
to have.
Yeah,
to
okay.
have- I mean,
Okay. Done.
he has a car that's been tried and.
that runs on a battery.
Right. But
Well, no, not
every-
only that, but I mean that's competing with Chevy, Chrysler, and Ford.
Well, wasn't he the first to come out with the complete total electric vehicle before? I mean, obviously Chevy,
Well,
Ford,
mass produce it and sell
yeah,
it
exactly.
Yeah.
to a market.
Okay, but-
yeah.
before
And Teddy, also, when you buy that car, you can sell it for more later.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
They're more expensive after you've bought
Did
it.
you know the battery? If you have to replace the battery on a Tesla, it's like $26,000. Just the battery.
Okay, but that's the
It's got a
past.
6-month warranty though.
Is he the most important person in the world right now? Because I would say that there's somewhere here. I read this crazy book. Okay, I love science fiction, right? Not going to plug it, but next week we're having the UFO guy on. Okay, he's a big writer. I've read so much science fiction and stuff. Okay, there was a book I read where anytime they came out with something that was like world changing, that they would actually like run some scenarios and then kind of see like how is this going to work, and if it worked badly, they would just kind of like make that person disappear. Right. So when I talk about, in the book, they had a person who could cure cancer. He literally could cure cancer. This guy did it, or woman did it, whatever it was. And they actually took him out. And so she's in this super prison. Okay. And she's like, why are you doing this to me? Well, we ran the scenarios, and the world can't handle all the people
All those
that would
people.
live,
Would live, yeah, exactly.
if you cured cancer.
Because the resources would be scarce. Because too many people would live, and then there'd be like run out of food. Like remember deer, you have to cull the herd because if you have
Right.
too many deer,
Right.
they would eat all the resources.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense.
It was
So you need people to die.
yeah, dude, it was terrifying. man.
It sort of makes sense.
Yeah, it was actually really weird. And then they had the same thing with like remember Cold Fusion, that stupid movie with Keanu Reeves, right? Right, where we all hoped
Is
that
there
you
is there
could.
such a thing as a stupid movie with Keanu Reeves in it?
Yeah.
Because he's so
Yeah,
beloved.
every single
Did you hear-
Matrix
much all
movie.
of
So did you
them.
hear about? So did you hear about? I just read this is off topic. So Keanu Reeves is at an airport somewhere, and then some kid runs up to him. It's like Keanu Reeves, I love you, and Keanu Reeves talked to the kid for like 5 minutes in a row, and everybody like fell all over themselves because Keanu Reeves answered the kid's questions and wasn't a complete douchebag, which is what you should do in real life, right? You should just be a nice person, right?
Yeah, but he was probably talking at a kid level, and that's probably perfect for Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's the brightest bulb in the den.
Well,
I don't know.
well,
I
so-
lost it. Oh,
so-
shit! I'm Keanu Reeves.
Somebody loves him. Somebody loves him.
Oh, welcome to Keanu Reeves talk. Thank you. Okay.
I like the Matrix though.
Okay, so all right, so I'm just throwing this out there. Most important person in the world. What would be the first female president of the United States?
What would or who?
No, I mean, think about that. she's out there right now. And the United States is one of the weird big countries that can't seem to grasp that a woman could possibly
we
control.
have right now, realistically, there's at least 3 women that would be serious contenders to run for president.
Well,
Name them.
Well,
I can name one right now.
The blonde, the
Klobuchar
brunette,
from,
the redhead.
No,
from
actually-
Minnesota.
So actually, the one who's the main one who
Stacey Abrams from Georgia.
Okay. Oh, I love her.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her name, from Minnesota, who ran for president in the primaries.
Oh crap! I know her name. and I can't
Amy
think of it.
Klobuchar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amy
no,
Klobuchar,
but,
yeah.
no, but the one you're
Yeah.
not talking about is the one that who might actually have a legitimate shot. That Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez,
Yeah.
who's only
No,
I think
she
she's
won't, no.
but she's too young right now
She's too-
because you have to be 35 years old.
She's
But
also too far left.
yeah, that's the thing. So even if she runs, I think her views are just too, outside the mainstream. Where it'd be
for
more of a
sure.
show. Yeah, but I don't think she'll ever be electable.
And you
but
guys,
you never say never.
And
Never
people
say
keep
never.
laughing at me,
Yeah.
but Kamala
Kamala.
Harris.
Kamala
Harris,
yeah.
God damn it! I keep thinking I'm getting it right.
I know.
But listen, I've heard her talk way before she was president, right before she was vice president, right? Where you have to do all that bullshit. She's actually really, really, really intelligent, and she did a lot of stuff. She talked about a lot of stuff about like regime change wars and all that kind of shit. Listen. This woman knows what she is talking
she
about.
really does.
And I don't give a
Matt,
fuck
the
if she
smartest
laughs
people don't
weird.
get elected, though.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I mean, look at Europe right now. That fucking goof chick that they just replaced Boris Johnson with. I mean, they just replaced her with. They replaced Boris Johnson with female Boris Johnson.
Right.
I mean, listen. They went from the same to the same. It's just that one has a dick and one doesn't.
There's a guy who just got elected to Congress somewhere, one of the eastern states. I can't think of his name, but he thinks this is a real thing. He actually thinks that Joe Biden's dead, and there's a body double in the White House right now being controlled by Barack Obama. He really thinks that. I mean, I'm not making this up.
Okay, so
This is like Marjorie Taylor Greene
That would be
territory.
such a good South Park episode.
yeah. So
Just watching him
Probably
controlling
is.
him.
It's my dad's favorite show, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
love
love
it.
I love that show.
Love
But there's an idiot who thinks that, and he's espousing this all over the internet, that King Charles killed his mother to get
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
the kingship.
Yeah.
You said last week that a lot of people think she's already been dead for a few
there were-
years.
Yeah, there's
there
a
are people-
cameo
yeah.
standing in for
Yeah,
her.
yeah. There are people that think she's been dead,
Yep.
and that some other old lady is standing in for her. I mean, what would be the purpose?
That'd be a great job.
You know how hard it is to do that wave, though?
The Queen Wave? No, it's like
So
it was
hard.
like this. It's like
So
this.
hard.
To me, it,
No, it's like this.
Oh yes. Oh,
It's not that hard.
Oh.
yeah, you're
In fact, I'm gonna do this when I get a hole in one. I'm gonna do this to my group. I'm gonna be like, hey, Mark.
Okay.
a
All
hole
right,
in
so
one.
When you get a hole in
We're never
one,
gonna
you
fucking see
definitely
that.
do
When?
that.
Not
never
if.
going to see that.
Never.
But when?
Here's the problem.
Might be tomorrow.
Teddy, here's the problem. We're going to do the show, right? You're never going to get on this show and say that you got a hole in one, because if I'm with you, I'm going to kill you, man. There is no doubt about it.
Well, then we know I got a hole in one if the show's canceled.
Yeah.
That's
If Matt has
bullshit.
killed Ted, he got a hole in one.
Or just Ted just killed himself. Yeah. It's called alcoholism. Yeah. It's going to happen.
with a baseball bat.
Oh, you stabbed yourself 25 times and then raped
with
yourself.
a 2-iron. I was bludgeoned.
Jackie, I know Ted. He's going to rape himself first. Okay, so most important person right now. I know this is people are gonna disagree. I'm just gonna say it. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he has
Sure.
the power to unite us all in peace, happiness, and sexiness. Yes.
I can't say no to that.
Wait, the
can't.
Deadpool guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can he just be the Deadpool guy? He is.
He was very amusing in that
He
role.
owns
That's-
cricket and aviator gin.
Yeah. Come on, how do you not know that?
Well, can't we just say Matthew McConaughey? Because I mean, he's kind of like the same level as Ryan Reynolds. I mean, they're just like those actors where like everybody cares what they say and blah blah blah. And
No,
can
we
say
don't
that
really
about
hear what Ryan Reynolds says.
Liam
We just-
Hemsworth.
Yeah. Are we going to say that Matthew McConaughey is as hot as Ryan
Jason
Reynolds? That's not a
Momoa.
thing.
Jason
No.
Momoa. I see a
Oh,
Jason
he's a good
Momoa.
guy.
I see
Okay,
it.
he
I
could
see
be.
it. I see a Jason Momoa article every single day. Jason Momoa has a tattoo on his head of Hawaii when he shaved his head and blah blah blah. You know, so
Aquaman.
Jackie,
who's
Jackie-
Jason Momoa dating now? And then he broke up with Lisa Bonet.
Yeah,
You know.
that never made any
Not
sense
Lisa
to me.
Bonet.
He is so much better
He
than
wasn't dating Lisa Bonet.
Isn't
Yeah.
she like super
No,
old?
he was dating her daughter.
No.
He was dating Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
That's Lisa
That's
Bonet.
Lisa Bonet.
Butt fuck.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Listen, Jason
Wait, so-
Momoa
Google
is
it.
hot.
Well, who's
Google it.
who's?
Yeah.
All right, so
Who's her
Lisa
mom?
Bonet. Yeah, who's her mom?
The guy the girl that Lenny Kravitz was doing. I don't know.
She was on the Cosby Show.
Mrs. Bonet.
Oh, was
no,
she?
Lisa Bonet was on the Cosby Show. That's who he was dating. She's
Yeah.
older than he is.
Oh,
and
okay,
not nearly as
okay.
attractive.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's a very lucky woman.
So is
That's what I'm
Jason
gonna say.
Jason Momoa the most important guy in the world? Because I read about him. It's like force fed down my throat every day, every time I look at you.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm just force fed down your throat. It's just too good. I know you're not doing it on purpose.
I didn't
but
say
it's too
I didn't
good.
say I gagged on it. I just said I looked at it.
I
No,
bet
you said it
did.
was forced down your throat.
Okay. All right. So we look most important person in the world. There is probably somebody on the planet right now that can unite Israel and Palestine. Would they be the most important person in the world?
Eh.
Are you kidding me?
Up in my list of things that are most important, that's not the most important for me.
But I mean,
You're not into land disputes.
Not so much.
wow, no way. I just feel like that's
And I
such
didn't mean to simplify.
well, I
mean,
with
it might
that.
be-
I was
it
trying
might
to make
be-
I was trying to make a joke.
Well,
It
no,
might be epic,
it's more
but
than that.
No, but I guess- but
it
to
to
is.
me,
It's a
it
big
doesn't
deal,
seem like the most important
But
thing.
even if it came to fruition, how would that change the quality of our lives? I mean, let's just say, okay, they're getting along now versus not getting along. Like,
it's not like lowering the price of gas.
yeah, it's not like our lives are going to get better. It's not like
that's Ted's main focus is lowering.
It's
the
not like
price of
Crown
gas.
Royal is going to go down to like $10 a pint at the liquor store versus current $18. No,
How do you know that wouldn't happen?
We
I
are
mean,
so
where
American.
does Crown
We're
Royal?
so American. right now.
not,
I mean, we're like
not
the
my li-
fucking the royal family.
not in my lifetime.
No, but I mean, it just kind of seems like that's something that's really big, man. I mean, if somebody could get the two of them to get together.
So what? The last 15 or 20 U.S. presidents, however long, couldn't do it. I mean, they all go
Well, Ted,
over there.
It's not a thing.
They try. Yeah, it's not real. It's not real.
It's
Yeah,
not a thing.
It's
Ted,
not real. Yeah.
Ted, they're fighting over a strip of land. Listen, I think I could fix this. Honestly, I might be the most important person in the world. What if you just I know
This is where you were setting that up. You want to be
No.
the most important person in the
No,
world.
what I'm
Gotcha.
saying is though.
Gotcha.
You're right. Jackie's right.
Yeah.
No, what I'm-
Once again,
Just wanna be a problem
he wants
solver.
to be the most.
Yeah. He just
wants to be a
not
prob-
just in the room, not just
In
his
the
basement,
world.
in the world now.
Just wants to be a problem solver.
Hold on
that's
a
all.
second. I have to adjust some knobs so nobody can hear anybody but me. But
We'll be back after these messages.
but no, listen. If you just nuke the Gaza Strip, made it unlivable for any human being on the planet, what would they have to fight about anymore?
The North Gaza Strip.
No, there isn't. It is just this strip of land. That's it. There's one strip of land. You nuke it, turn it to glass, make it no one could even walk on there. If you walk on there, you die, and then they have nothing to fight about.
How do you turn it to glass? That would be cool.
It's called nuclear bomb stuff. You know,
With glass.
with glass.
I
don't know.
I think their conflict goes back like 3,000 years because they believe, like, if you believe in the Bible, they believe that God gave the Jews this land, and the Palestinians have this land, and Jerusalem is their land versus their. So I mean, you're talking about something that's completely,
Okay, so
maybe I'm not
So
going to say
nuking the
I'm not
Gaza
gonna say-
Strip
I'm not
is
gonna
not a
say-
good
I'm not gonna
idea.
say I'm not going to say it's
So-
fictitious, but so.
Ted's tips for Matt.
okay,
So Matt, yes,
Don't nuke
to
the
answer your
Gaza Strip.
question, if there's somebody out there that could do something like that, because there is a huge trickle down effect from that
yeah.
dispute.
Well, think how
being
much
settled.
money America
So, yeah.
would have because we have literally been selling Israel, right? All these guns and all these things. All we're doing is exacerbating it. That's all we're doing is we're exacerbating what's happening, right? I mean, and I don't even understand this. It's kind of funny to me. I've met a ton of Palestinian people. They're all super cool. I don't. Why did we pick one side and not the other side? What if we just got it back down to no weapons, just knives and shivs, and let them fight like that? Maybe they would just be like, yeah, I don't really want to get that close to that guy, so I'm going to go ahead and pass. And
Rocks.
oh,
Ooh, just a
man.
good stoning.
Like crack
rocks.
rocks? Yeah. But okay, fine. Whatever it gets down to. And then they just be like, yeah, that seems awful close. It's so much easier when I can just fly in a plane and drop a bomb or strap something on me and then just stop.
Well, the funny thing is there's already enough land there for everybody. Obviously, they're already living there, so it's not like there's a lack of land. So there's already enough land for everybody to coexist peacefully. They just
you're
choose
right.
not
Wait,
to.
unless somebody
no,
comes
no,
in, unless some
no.
giant corporation buys it up.
Ted's right. There's a lot more land there.
There it is! Unless Jeff Bezos buys it up.
Jeff Bezos buys the Gaza Strip.
With Elon Musk.
and turns it into unaffordable housing.
One giant Starbucks.
And then Ryan Reynolds just keeps the peace.
We're in Chicago.
Right.
We are an example.
Okay.
Did you ever drive down Devon Avenue?
Oh yeah.
Very, very. It's you got Jews, Palestinians, Muslims. The whole neighborhood is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Shopping, everyone's living there together
But it's funny.
in peace.
Yeah, but it's
Dude,
funny they can't.
Seriously,
And you get the best food.
Best food.
Oh my God, you're right. That is okay. So that's it.
So it could happen.
So we turn the Gaza
it's
Strip
smaller
into a
than the
street.
Gaza Strip.
Into Chicago.
Oh, gee. Wait, hold on a second.
Wait a
There's going to
second.
be so many murders on the weekends. And
Protect your children.
The taxes will be horrible. Okay, so this is funny. So I and I just did this, but I brought the concept up, and my son came up with this name, and this kind of blew my mind. At first, I literally just lambasted him, but then I thought, the most important person in the world right now, and he said Mitch McConnell. Now listen up. He literally set up the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the way it is. It is set up right now, conservatively, because of Mitch McConnell. And Jackson said this, he might be a dick. He goes, but that motherfucker ain't stupid.
That's true.
Think about that for a second.
But he looks stupid.
No, he looks like a turtle.
Oh, yeah.
He looks
does,
like
yeah.
he actually looks like a turtle's dick.
Yeah, but those are the people you got to watch out for the most. The people who don't look like they're clever.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the motherfuckers.
But
you
Lindsey
watch out for the
Graham, who
most,
just,
yeah.
Oh, and he's motivated.
is trying to
And
do
he's
the
motivated, yeah.
total abortion ban,
Yeah.
federal abortion ban.
So George Carlin, the comic who died a few years ago, a man who was ahead of his time, he goes, the people you got to watch out for are the motivated people. He goes, the guy sitting on his recliner, playing with his dick, watching a game show. Don't worry about that guy.
I feel like I've
don't worry
heard this
about me.
somewhere
Yeah.
before.
Don't
That's why I said
worry
that.
about the guy who's motivated. Worry about the guy who's motivated because that's the guy you got to watch out for.
But Lindsey Graham also said
Very
3 months
motivated.
ago, that it should be up to the states to decide. It should be up to the states. The abortion.
And now
then,
he's just
and then
said
now he's
he wants to
presenting
have,
federal law.
right.
I
So
you know what?
bizarre. So bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. You can't make it up, and you just.
You can't. Okay, so my last person that I thought would be the most important person.
So we
in the
all,
world-
none of us get to say.
Well, okay,
This is
go
all
ahead.
yours. This is
Hit
all
me.
yours. No.
Hit me with what you
No,
got.
I want to hear your third.
No, you don't.
I wanna
have
hear your
anything.
fifth. I wanna hear your
okay,
fifth.
So last one that I have.
Mine
is
is all dependent on who's listening right now.
okay,
Honey,
well, it's
are you listening?
sweetheart. You know who's most important.
Let me break it
You
down
are.
for a moment
You are,
here,
baby.
You, baby.
All right. So here's what I was thinking: the leader of China, Xi Jinping. Okay, and here's why.
Not Dao
because
Xiaoping.
no, isn't it Xi?
No, Dao Xiaoping was a leader in a long time ago.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what?
No,
You're talking about Mao Zedong?
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong. Mao
Zedong.
Zedong. Yeah.
no, but this is what I'm
Xi,
thinking.
yeah, I think it's Xi Jinping, the guy,
Is
the current guy.
The
Yeah.
current guy.
Yeah.
We know who
Xi
it is.
Jinping.
We know who it is. Yeah,
Okay,
we know
so
who it is.
so
Yeah,
whatever fuck his name is. Okay,
Right.
so he could literally open China up and make this world a completely different place. Instead of keeping people out or keeping people in, right? He could change the world by opening China up and opening his country up and making it a place where instead of there's so much repression and there's only one way to do things and this way to do things, he could change the whole world right now. If tomorrow he decided that he didn't want to have this, like totally fascist
Communist Party.
Yeah,
Communist
communist.
Party.
Yeah,
Right.
If
Yeah.
they, well,
yeah,
if
he could change the world right now.
100%.
Yeah. On the flip side of it, we talked about this. I think if he went to invade Taiwan tomorrow, which we don't hope he doesn't do, but the point is, if he did do that, there's not a damn thing anyone can do
Yeah.
about it. I mean,
It's on the table.
yeah, but I'm saying the world will wake up tomorrow and say, "Oh, we're outraged. This is an existential threat," and blah blah blah. Thoughts and prayers. But
Well, he was just sitting with Putin the other
But
day.
realistically,
That's
if they
scary.
went in there and just went scorched earth on Taiwan, there's nothing no one can do. What are you going to do? You're going to send all the military weapons, 3,000 miles away
Yeah.
at some staging area? Where are you going to go? Yeah.
I still don't understand China's hard-on for Taiwan. It is the weirdest thing in the world. to me.
What's Russia's hard on for Ukraine? Same thing.
I mean,
Yeah, it really is.
I think
a hard-on,
Putin has just kind of lost his mind, right? But I don't understand why do they? I mean, Taiwan is the complete opposite of China. There is nothing about Taiwan that has anything to do with China. I mean, if they're just jelly, they could have Taiwan too, and kind of out Taiwan if they wanted to, right?
Yeah. It's just some nationalistic bullshit that
When is the
that
war
doesn't mean
between
anything.
New Zealand and Australia going to start?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
Huh?
no, they're too
That's-
nice. They're too
Are you-
nice.
You think?
New Zealand? No, man. Isn't that where The Rock is from? Isn't he New Zealandish?
Well,
the
we're
Rock?
talking about like China and
Right,
and
Taiwan,
Taiwan
I
right
get
by
it.
each other.
Wait, I
They're
thought
kind
the
of
Rock.
very
I thought the Rock was
similar.
like from
Yeah.
Hawaii.
But you're
or
not
like-
allowed to
I
call
thought he was
somebody from New
Samoan.
Zealand
Yeah,
and
Samoan,
Australia.
yeah,
They take-
obviously,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Because they're not. But I
Right.
mean, if you mistake somebody, because we think they sound the same, right? So
Maybe
I
we
knew
start
a guy
fighting with
from New
Canada?
Zealand, and we kept calling him like, "Oh, you're from down under." He's like, "No, dude, I'm from New Zealand."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the guy
So
we
it's-
thought was from Ireland.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ted's
wait,
got things
Ted-
going on.
I got a story. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're
Oh.
ready.
Oh,
Whenever
my
we're done
God.
with this segment.
Ted,
Whenever we're done with this segment.
we are done. And if you have something you want to tell us,
so-
this would be the perfect way to end the show.
I'm going to
Please.
sit back
Yeah.
now
So-
and listen.
So in addition to having guests and doing our podcast in public, we also do investigative journalism. I don't know if you knew that. We do investigative
Ted,
journalism.
I'm opening up a beer right now.
I heard that. So this is a story, folks out there. It's about a woman who's been left alone with her 3 children and her 15 servants, all alone because her husband abandoned her. It's a story.
I'm sorry, hold on. I'm sorry. 3 children and 15 servants.
15 servants. Yes, she's been abandoned by her
my
husband.
God. This sounds horrible.
And this is the story about Tom Brady's marriage. Correct. So we obtained an official transcript about some dialogue between Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, his wife, and I just wanted to share that with our
Wow,
audience
intel.
today. Yeah.
okay.
It might not be completely 100% accurate, but it's representative of what's going on right now. So if
We'll just be like Trump and say, people told me
people told me,
this is what
yeah,
happened.
this is from a source I can't
Right.
identify. This is a source I can't identify. So,
Okay, let's
yeah.
Ted, I love that.
Okay, so here it is. This is Gisele Bündchen. Tomas, we need to talk. Tom Brady says, about what, my darling? And by the way, my full name is Thomas. By the way, it's not Tomas. Gisele says, I'm deeply concerned about you continue to play foosball against my expressed wishes. Tom says, darling, it's just one more year. We're going for 8. Gisele says, Tomas, I have needs too. And what about our darling children? Hans, Gunther, and Anastasia.
Wait, hold on a second. His kids are not named Hans.
Hans, Gunther, and Anastasia.
Oh, wait, you're making a point. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what your point is, but I love this so
She's German.
far. Is she German?
Yeah, of course she's German. Yeah, she's from Germany, which means she's German.
You know what?
Wait,
hold
what?
On. No, Jackie. If you're from Germany, you're German. Yeah.
Wow.
Remember, I'm the smart one that can't sit still.
Wow. This is very true.
Guys, I'm really
So
into
wait,
this.
so
I'm
we're,
really into this
we're
story. and
German.
You guys,
So we're from Germany?
Yes, Germany.
Ted,
yes.
can you start over, please?
You're from the
Ted,
Rhineland. You're
Ted,
from the
whatever
Rhineland.
you do,
Yeah.
don't start over.
Please.
Please, Jesus, don't
I'm
start
going to
over.
continue. So anyway, after she gives the name of her children, she goes, Tomas, I'm exhausted, having to be in charge of this household. Just the other day, our 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. nanny had to reschedule, and I was forced to stop pouring myself a nice glass of Jérôme Baumejean Chateau Mouton Rothschild, which, by the way, is $310,000 a bottle.
And that is actually how
Wow.
you say it, so
Yes.
I am
Wow.
freaked out.
in order to take her phone call. You know how much I detest conversing with the hired help, Tomas. Tom,
This is like a retard's bedtime story.
Stop saying that word.
Tom
whatever.
Brady says, darling.
Bedtime story?
Tom says, darling, as sure as the sun sets in the west, this will be my last NFL campaign, and then we can live our lives together. GB says, Tomas, I need a man who will be there for me, not a boy living out of silly foosball fantasies.
You play your foosball.
Last year, when you and your team were busy celebrating throwing that oval brown ball around, I had to tell dear Gunther that it was okay. He only received a Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio car, which is worth $3 million, by the way, for his 16th birthday, instead of the Bugatti La Vole Noir for $19 million. He had specifically requested.
Life is rough.
That was the time a boy needed his father to tell him everything was going to be okay. Tomas, I'm a supermodel, but not a supermom. Okay.
I think this is going to go viral.
Tom Brady says, dearest love, I do offer my deepest apologies, but you do know that the sport I play has brought us untold riches that afford us the opportunity to live this lifestyle, so I'm hoping for your understanding. Gisele says, enough excuses, Tomas. When I was a little girl growing up in the Rhineland on my parents' pony farm, yes, I had the pony.
What kind of immigrant has a
He
pony?
has a pony. I know, that's what I thought, too.
I had the pony.
They let me know.
Ponies are good. Everybody wants a pony.
Everybody wants a pony.
My parents let me know that, yes, I was an angel sent from heaven, even though I was destined to be the most beautiful woman, and marry the most handsome man with unlimited potential. If that man ever left my side for so much as a minute, except to obviously use the bathroom and shower, he would not be worthy of my affections.
Ah, damn it. Giselle had a pony and a goat.
Tom replies, "My lad of Orion, if you could be so kind as to just let me finish out this final campaign in front of my adoring fans and chase NFL history, you would be making many people happy as well as allowing me to reach my personal milestones." Giselle replies, "I don't care about your silly NRA and Sandlot games, Tomas. Where?"
This is getting so ridiculously stupid that I can't stop it. It's taking on a life of its own.
Where were your
It is what it is. It's a transcript.
Where
It
were your
is.
silly
Right.
Where will your silly peasants be for you when you are no longer entertaining them? I'm taking the children to Bora Bora. Please call me when your foosball season is over. I may or may not be available at that time. So that's the state of their
All right.
marriage.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I'm just
This is
reporting.
factual.
I'm
No,
just
but
reporting.
here's what our sources say.
I'm just reporting.
Some of this, the TV was on in the background. Very loud television.
So he didn't understand what was being
Well,
said?
some of it was like, okay, and then there's like these.
He
you
just
know,
filled it in with
obviously
whatever
it was
was
like
on
the
TV,
television,
yeah.
and he's kind of filling it in, and
Yeah, yeah.
What's that one song? It was back in the 80s. It goes, "Our love's in jeopardy,
Jeopardy.
Baby.
then. So then I did some research and I cross-checked the transcripts
Ooh.
Oh,
while I was watching my novellas.
Your soap operas.
Oh, Giselle, look at
And
him.
it turns out
He has been cheating on her
if you
with
change
his
the names, this is
stepchildren.
exactly what happened in General Hospital yesterday afternoon. So, Ted, the point is we need new equipment.
There are many Tom Brady's, but only one Giselle Bundchen.
Somebody put the fucking mic in their house right behind the television.
Dude, listen. No, they are having troubles, right? And
they're living separate lives.
and probably like every big time couple, they will eventually have their divorce televised. They will discuss it. It will be Instagrammed.
Conscious uncoupling?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
Wasn't that the?
yeah. It will be. It will be texted. It will be Instagrammed. It will be TikToked. It will be talked about endlessly by Ellen and Rosie and Good Morning America and Goodbye America and
She
whatever.
TikToked her excitement about his first start back or whatever.
So here's the funny thing. So I
You
guess
could tell that was fake.
Oh, it seems
we all
super
saw
fake.
that. We all
Yeah.
saw that.
So
Yeah.
here's like the big picture. So a guy like Tom Brady. Okay, so you have a ridiculously good-looking man who's obviously he's the best-looking guy. Who's
no
like
Ryan Reynolds.
No, sir,
No,
he's
he definitely is
but
not.
it's like Elvis. It's like he's the best-looking guy with the best singing voice. So you have the best-looking guy who's actually the best quarterback. So everyone loses their shit, right?
Then why does he have to take Leonardo DiCaprio's hand-me-downs?
Damn.
If that's the
in
case.
your face, Tom Brady. Okay, listen, I cannot do this anymore because I'm afraid Ted's going to whip out another piece of paper and read another story, and you know what? I'm just terrified of what might happen. So,
Oh, snap.
I like that one. We're doing that. Are you throwing beer bottle tops at Ted?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
can live with that.
You had a pony too?
What's wrong with
What's
I want a pony.
Why,
I always wanted a
An
pony.
immigrant can have a pony. Ted. Okay, so we got to put this thing to bed because I am just literally terrified. Teddy texted me and said he had something special to do, and I had no idea it was a like a little show.
It was investigative journalism.
See, this
That's
is
what it
why I
was.
want. This is why I want video because Ted could have had puppets. There could have been a whole thing. It would have been awesome. I
That
know.
would have been so fun.
Puppet
I could
show?
do
No,
puppets.
actually-
I'm good at
Oh,
puppets.
You know what I like? I like marionettes with the strings.
No,
they're
those are
creepy.
creepy.
They creep me out.
Creepy.
They creep me out.
Shit.
Yeah.
Marionette
Creep me
might
out.
as well be
Yeah,
a
creepy.
Yeah,
might as well be a clown.
But
Yeah.
it would be good
Yeah,
for that
clown,
story.
pedophile mixed together.
That would be.
It's
You know
a very
what?
German thing.
No.
It is a yes. Okay, Pinocchio. Show Giselle why you are so sad and lie to her constantly.
Do it.
Yes. Okay, so we got to put an end to this. And since my sister is now the reigning champion of been on the show, and thank God she mentioned that because, like all brothers and sisters, I just stopped paying attention. Jackie, you get the first. What would you like to leave everyone with at the end of this show?
I'm in the quad squad.
What the hell is Quad Squad?
That's 4.
4.
Quad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't understand different words. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry. Listen, I just do a podcast. I don't understand
So Matt,
words.
just fidget with something and then you'll understand more.
Look at that shiny thing. Oh, quad. I get it
Oh,
now.
quad
Yeah.
squad. Get it.
Yeah, I was a special student. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what the best part was?
The red circled ends on your report card?
No. My bus was so short I could park anywhere. Yeah, I mean we could just park anywhere. Okay, Marquise, double 2 weeks in a row. That's a really
I forgot
weird,
about this part. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah,
weird
you can't think
concept.
about it.
Last week I said because Jim wasn't
Right. Yeah.
His thing wasn't very nice.
Oh,
At the end, his advice.
Oh.
his advice was not as good.
No.
Not as good.
Well, no,
Jackie-
it was good. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just was.
It wasn't as
So mine
nice.
was just like, be nice.
Yeah, be nice.
Everybody
Okay.
just be
Oh,
nice
yeah.
to each
Yeah,
other.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
It's good
Yeah.
advice.
So don't do that shit. I mean, be better than that. What the fuck, man? Come on. What do you want to leave everybody with at the end
That's
of the
it.
show?
I just said it.
Just be nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
God.
that. No, it's
Okay.
good.
I like it.
that. That's good.
I have a
do it
shirt
again.
that says that.
I am
You have a
literally.
shirt that says "Be nice."
I do.
I'm gonna TED it, and I'm just gonna say, be nice.
Yeah. Be nice.
You're gonna TED it, and then you're gonna buy a little bit of property,
Like
and okay. All right,
Don't
Teddy.
listen to your parents.
What? No. Listen.
No, that was one of his Ted's
Oh
tips
yeah,
for 20s.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? I kind of forget.
You kind of forget
I
too.
do.
It's been a
I do.
world.
It's okay.
It's been a whirlwind romance up to this point, so we forget a lot of things. So.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. We do all this, so we do this show, right? But then Ted and I are going, you know, I don't like to admit this, but, you know, Ted and I drink often, a lot, together. Yeah. And maybe it's a thing. I don't know.
And then teach children.
Yeah. And then but so many things run together that I forget I have to listen to the show to remember what's on the show and what's just something Ted has randomly said to me when we're drunk on a golf course. Yeah. Okay, so Teddy, here is your chance.
You said 4 to remember, by the way.
For to remember.
I have to do this 4 to remember, so that's 5-6 beers. That's 5 beers. remember.
Teddy, it's your turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots deep.
I enjoyed this podcast, folks. Thanks for everybody being here, and I just want to know who's playing Thursday Night Football and what's the spread. That's all I want to know.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
Got to get our picks in.
Oh shit! Nobody's picking between the Chargers and the Chiefs, and
No.
and we'll be heading out probably to Howard Street to watch that. So we have a good time with that. Okay, so Teddy, listen. Number one, first I want to say your tips again. They astound me every time. Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for being on. Okay, because again we had that kind of last minute thing where our brewer didn't show up, and you know our you know it's so funny. You think about, you know, like everybody has these podcasts and they're really good and people are just like, oh, that's awesome. And there is so much behind the scenes stuff that makes this so crazy. Like I'm trying to get a person, like a workout person, like somebody who works at a health club or, you know, an exercise place to come on, talk about fitness and all that stuff. No one will do it. Yeah, it's really, really tough, okay? So I really appreciate Jackie being on. It was a last minute. Mark also was like a last minute thing, and he actually tried to get us a brewer. And hopefully that guy who does it will be on the show, you know, later on. We got a lot of stuff coming up. So before I leave, I want to hit you.
Steve wants to be on that one.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure.
So I want to hit you up with this. Next week, we have a UFO guy, God willing, and the creek don't rise. He's going to show up. He is a world-famous author. Over 40 books. 40 books he's written.
That's impressive.
It is really impressive. And this guy seems really cool. Really cool, okay? The next week, we have an astrologer. This chick, Susie, she is phenomenal.
I want to be on that
You
one.
are there. You are there.
Is that a Wednesday?
That is next Wednesday. That's next Wednesday. Oh, 2 Wednesdays. Two Wednesdays because, we
Can't
got to
do it.
switch over because
Yeah.
Teddy has bowling. All right.
Volleyball.
All right, I get it. We got a cannabis guy coming up. We got a travel agent guy coming up. And as long as none of these people have a sick dog, we are going to be good and they are going to be here. So listen, tune in. Enjoy. I hope you guys are having a blast. Hit us up on all our social media. Let us know what you like and what you don't like. And if everything works out just fine and no more queens or kings die, we will see you guys all next week. Enjoy.